Hello, welcome to the Opinionistics. I'm your host, John Maloney. Don't any other co-hosts, because reasons, apparently. So, introducing from Toronto, Canada, Cathy Nesbitt.
Woo woo woo! Hi, Peter. I'm excited to be here.
Me too. So, Cathy, what is it you mainly do for a living?
Well, currently I'm a laughter yoga teacher. I help people get out of stress and into joy.
Ah, very nice. How long you been doing that for?
Well, I've been laughing since 2012, but really laughing since 2020, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, in 2020, I took a deep dive into why people say laughter is the best medicine, and it's scientifically proven. It's exciting.
I can see that. Yeah, indeed. What was life for you growing up?
Oh, that's a great question. I had a kind of a just a would say a usual upbringing. Just yeah, except my parents divorced when I was 7, so it was at a time when everyone had their both parents. So that I think that helped shaped who I became, and I notice when people are alone.
Hmm. Okay. So, where do you see yourself 20 years from now?
20 years from now, I see myself still speaking on podcasts, still speaking about what I do. I'm actually, it's the 21st anniversary of my worm business. And so I still see myself as a protector of the planet, I think, a caretaker for the planet, and helping people understand why they need to take action for looking after Mother Earth.
Fantastic. What happens in real life but rarely gets portrayed in movies?
Oh, so many things. What happens? Oh, these are great questions, Peter. My goodness.
Thank you.
What happens in real life um, that is rarely portrayed in movies? The truth.
Ah, yes, ain't that the truth?
I think that in movies, life is portrayed as so simple; it just flows along, and that's not how it is. I think that for the most part, people are good, and in movies, it shows that you need to watch out for everybody, and I think that most people are good.
Fantastic. Do you travel often?
Before 2020, I did. I have traveled. I felt the 80s was my decade of travel. I lived in France for a year. I traveled around Europe for 3 months. And then my husband and I traveled in for 13 months in Africa and Asia.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is quite a journey.
Oh, it was a dream come true. It was so beautiful. It totally shaped the person I became. I was 27 at that time, and it really informed me about how the world works.
Oh yes, absolutely. If you could travel back in time, which decade would you want to live in?
I would love to live in the early 1800s. I would love to see how life was at that time. I know it would be much more challenging than today with all of our conveniences. I would love to live in pioneer days. I would. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. What natural landmark would you like to see someday?
Hmm. Oh, I'd like to see a few. I would love to see natural landmark. I would love to see Machu Picchu in Peru.
Oh yes,
Mm.
quite a rare sight given its location.
Right? And the Galapagos. So I kind of have two answers.
Oh, good enough. What's the best thing you have ever bought off Amazon?
The maybe not the best thing, but the coolest fun thing that I bought was this sparkly twinkly light tree that you put up on your wall, and it's in the corner, and it's so mystical and whimsical. I just love it. It just brings such joy to me when I turn it on.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I think we need to have fun, Peter. I think that life is so serious. If we can bring in some whimsy, all the
Yes.
better.
We've got to have a laugh at some point.
Mm, absolutely.
Oh, yes.
It
If
makes them.
some, Sorry, what I was going to say was, if someone wrote a book about you, what do you think its title would be?
Oh, wow. A day in the life of a worm woman.
Ah, that's quite a title.
You'd read that book, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, it's going to be a bestseller for sure. What was the longest trip you have taken?
The 13-month journey. I traveled for 13 months in Africa and Asia. Yeah, that was and we were just tripping around. It wasn't a tour or something. We were hoofing it.
Okay, that makes sense. Would you sleep on the wall or sleep on the ceiling?
Oh, I would sleep on the ceiling.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'd want to be looking down.
Yeah, me too. And all the space on all the floor space too.
Right?
Yeah. Would you rather speak all languages or talk to animals?
I'd rather speak all languages to animals. I think I would like to speak to the animals.
Okay, cool, cool. Which recent news story have you found most interesting?
Oh, I don't follow the news too much. I find it too
Okay,
sad. I find the news really sad.
yes, I agree. And
Yeah.
sometimes pretty grim and awful, really.
Yeah, so it really is. I think it's the news seems to be designed to keep us in a state of fear and lack,
Distress.
distress. Yes. Mm.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I think a lot of news outlets are like that, and especially you never know what information is true or partially true, but it's twisted to mean something else.
Absolutely, yes. The words are definitely skewed, and just like any surveys that they do, they can skew the results. That's what they do in the media.
Yeah.
They take
So,
a kernel and then make it into something new.
yeah, absolutely. Do you prefer headphones or earbuds?
I don't have headphones, so I would say I guess I prefer earbuds.
Ah, all right then. When things break, do you prefer to fix them or replace them?
Oh, wow. I would say before I would have liked to repair them. It just seems today that things are built to break and not be repaired. Often the repair cost is more than the replacement cost. So by
Hmm.
design, we've got this built-in obsolescence.
Ah, of course. If you could host a talk show, who would you have on as your first guest?
Oh, I would love to interview Patch Adams and find out why he was driven to create the Gesundheit Institute and help people by clowning.
Ah, sweet. How did you spend your last birthday?
In a hot air balloon. I went on a hot air balloon ride. It was one of those, whatever you call it, list items.
Ah, very nice. I've been in a hot air balloon once. It was a bit dry, cold, but even though most of the day is very, very hot, but otherwise it's been very good.
Yeah, it's a feeling like you feel like especially when they're not doing the gas. It feels like you're literally floating in air. It was a really beautiful, peaceful experience for me.
Oh, yes, absolutely. What is your favorite holiday tradition?
Mm, I would have to say eating turkey.
Fabulous.
And all the fixins.
Cool. What is your favorite ice cream topping?
This is going to sound weird, but it's bean sprouts.
Bean sprouts.
I have a sprouting branch of my business. So you grow the beans, like you just sprout the seed, and when it's like a little bean size, not while it's a full out bean sprout, you add it in, and it adds nutrients. It freezes immediately, so it adds crunch. It doesn't really add flavor; it just adds nutrients. So I can eat ice cream guilt free.
Okay, that makes sense. If it has nutrients, it's a good reason to stay healthy, I guess.
Right, and still get your sweet treat.
Yeah. Do you enjoy spicy food?
I love it. Yes, please.
Yes, me too.
Followed by ice cream.
Yes. The hot and the cold all at once.
Right? It's the
Yeah.
perfect blend. Like the perfect partnership.
Oh, yes. Have you heard of a drink called banana friche?
I have not.
That's all right, I get that a lot. What is the best way to travel?
The best way to travel is by foot.
Yes.
I say that, I mean walking, because when you're walking, you're going at a slower pace, you're looking around, you're taking in your environment, you're sensing everything, you can feel everything. So I mean you travel somewhere by plane or train, boat, however you get there, but then walking around, walking amongst the people, yeah, I think walking is the best way.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you rather not be able to open closed doors or not be able to close open doors?
I'd rather be able to open closed doors.
Hmm. All right then. Very good. If you could know the absolute truth to one question, what question would you ask?
The current question that I have is, why did we have COVID? What was the purpose?
Well, it's it's gonna be a rough one, but it's a setup, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's just
Why
it's
though?
just a
My question would be, why did we have this? I mean, I know the answer, but yeah, I would want to know what
like
what
why
is
even
the
start in the first place?
yeah, what is the purpose behind it? I would really want to know why it was created.
Yeah, me too. All I can think about is when the lockdowns happened, I think a lot of us have been way less productive after the lockdown than before it. And because of the lack of energy from getting too cozy in our homes, yeah, I think production in workspaces have been on a slight decline recently, and that could like pass on for future generations if nothing changes.
Absolutely. It's funny, Peter, because people say, I mean, BC, they were saying, if I had time, I would, whatever, learn a language, do a hobby, start a craft, whatever they were wanted to do, they would do it. And then we had, at least 2 years of lockdown, and most people did not do it because we were in fear. When we're under stress and we're afraid, we can't really function. We're paralyzed. So I agree. I think a lot of people got really snuggly wuggly in their houses, and now, I mean, there's work shortages. Everywhere's hiring. You could get a job anywhere if you were interested in working. Yeah, it's really fascinating what's happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was the most productive time of my life. I met the most amazing people. I did do a lot of things that I said that I would do if I had time, and I'm thrilled. I loved that time. I mean, not at the beginning where it was like, what the hell's happening? But now looking back, it's like, wow, that I met the most interesting, like-minded people around the world during the last 3 years.
Yeah, indeed. Is it better to use shampoo as soap or soap as shampoo?
Ah, well, I guess it depends on the brand, but I would say it's probably best to use shampoo as soap.
Ah, yes. There's a lot more ingredients that is very, very good for the body to keep it clean from all bacteria.
That's right. No bugs on you.
Yes, absolutely. What could you do a 40-minute presentation on without any preparation?
I could do a 40-minute presentation on why we need to laugh more.
Yes, absolutely. We all need to laugh at some point.
We so do. And every day we need to add it as our daily health regime.
Absolutely. If you could turn any activity into an Olympic sport, what would you have a good chance at winning a medal for?
Oh, definitely laughter yoga. Yeah, I would definitely be the winner. I'd
Oh
be on the
yeah,
podium. Yeah.
abs you mean more than just on be the podium. You would be a gold medalist record holder.
Oh,
That's that's for sure.
I can see it now.
Oh yes. What kind of music do you often listen to?
I listen to scalar bioenergy waves to help calm my mind and my body and get me into a zen zone. But when I'm listening to actual music, it's anything that I can sing along to. I like ballads, not necessarily love songs. I just like anything that has a good beat that I can sing along to.
Ah, nice. If you were chosen to colonize a brand new habitable planet, would you take it?
Probably not. No.
Okay, fair enough. Like, I mean, we have everything right here, so what's the need to leave?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all snuggly wiggly on this planet.
Yes, me too. What trends did you follow when you were younger?
Trends. I had a mood ring. Do
Oh
you remember
yeah.
mood rings?
Oh yeah, I remember mood rings.
Okay.
They were a thing back in high school. But
Exactly.
yeah. I don't see them as often anymore.
No, I don't even hear about mood rings anymore. It was a fad. It was
Yes.
definitely like pet rocks and a chia pet. I had a chia pet too.
Ah, yes. Very good.
A pet you can eat.
Oh yeah, because it's greeny. That makes sense. What item has drastically improved your life?
What item? Oh, um, I would say my bicycle has drastically improved my life. I just love it. It's freedom riding around on my bike.
Nice. If you could change one plot line of a piece of fiction, what would it be?
Oh my gosh, I don't have an answer, Peter.
Really?
I don't have an answer.
Oh no! That's a disaster.
Okay, okay, I'll come up with one. How about the Wizard of Oz? Um, the wizard ends up being a woman.
Oh. So
Wah, wah, wah.
oh wow, that would be a bit of a let down. Does that mean the witch would be a guy too? Would that be the case? The
Uh,
whole switcheroo?
yeah, why not? Yes, let's
Oh,
try that.
yeah, that'll be quite confusing and topical of the days.
Right?
Yeah,
Then I'd have haters.
yeah. But hey, could be worse. If your life was a meal, what kind of meal would it be?
Oh, uh, it would definitely be a chunky bowl of soup.
Hmm, chunky.
Chunky.
That's an interesting keyword. What's your favorite season?
Fall. Yeah, I love the colors. I love that the seasons changing. In Canada we have the gift of the four seasons, and it's so beautiful. I love them all. I
Oh
really love
yes,
fall. Yeah, I love the colors.
yes, me too. And then when we get to the winter, it gets very cold, unbearably. Then we have to wait till summer, and then yeah, it's the same process all over again. But of course, people in the UK always complain about the weather, so no one will ever be happy, no matter what the circumstances.
Right? The weather keeps us chatting, that's for sure.
Oh yes, it's something to talk about for sure.
Yeah, when other topics are off. But although weather is becoming a little bit taboo with climate
Yes.
change.
Oh yeah, climate change. What was the last funny video you saw?
The last funny video?
Hmm.
The last funny video I saw was a guy on a subway laughing by himself at his cell phone, and how everybody on the train was laughing too.
Well, something about his love must be very contagious.
Mm,
Just like you know what, you
it's
know?
right.
Yeah. What is something people are always surprised to learn about you?
They're actually surprised now that I'm talking about laughter. I'm promoting laughter all the time now. They're surprised that I actually have worms, but I don't have worms in my body. I have a worm business where I'm encouraging people to have worms in their house. Yeah, people would be surprised.
Now, what kind of worms exactly? Is it literal or metaphorically?
These are real live worms. They're red wigglers, and they're composting worms. So they do live in the house. I believe in the UK they're called wormeries.
Oh, interesting.
Hmm.
I've never thought about it that way.
Yeah, so it's indoor composting with worms. They're your food scraps and paper, and then their poop is the black gold that you put on your gardens.
Oh yes, it's the food for the roots to make plants grow lustrous and foliage, whatever they call
Eggs.
it.
Yes, exactly.
Nice. What is your favorite quote?
My favorite quote is, without awareness, action is impossible. And I came up with that quote regarding my worm business because if you don't know that you can have worms in the house, you're not calling me. It's bad for business.
Oh yes, because you never know unless you try.
Right?
Oh yes,
Absolutely.
yes indeed. What app can you not believe someone hasn't made yet?
Well, Peter, here's a little disclosure for you. I don't even have a cell phone, so I think of an app as an appetizer. When people say, "Oh, you just download the app," I'm like, "What the heck?"
Oh, you think it's just something else, like something you before you eat the main course.
Right? Yes. I'm
Yeah.
like, why is everyone talking about apps? Is everyone hungry?
That'd be really confusing and funny too. Hilarious. What product would you seriously stockpile if you found out they weren't going to sell it anymore?
Potatoes.
Ah yes, potatoes. Very versatile.
It's the
That makes
perfect
sense.
food. It's the perfect food.
Oh yes, and the most resistant of all the vegetables.
Mm, yeah, so beautiful.
Yes. What fictional item do you wish you owned in real life?
Oh, I wish I had a magic wand and I could turn all the trolls into, better people.
Ooh, okay. What bad habits do you want to get rid of?
Maybe scrolling social media. Yeah, it's I know those platforms are designed to keep our eyeballs on there and it works.
Yes.
I log out, and then it's like I'm back there again. I'm like, how did I get here again?
Yeah. It's a trap, that one species said,
It's a trap. Yes.
and it always has been. And to this day it still is a trap. The only way to not be a trap is you find self-control to like not have a reason to use social media in the first place.
Mm,
And
yeah.
only then you'll finally be happy with what you got.
Exactly.
Oh yes. What food have you not eaten, but you would really like to try it?
That I would really like to try it. Huh. I was gonna say sushi, but I don't like sushi, so I like the whole idea. So no, that's not the one I'd like to try. The idea of raw fish doesn't appeal. What would I like to try that I haven't tried? Maybe some very fancy, expensive thing, like I don't know. Maybe a
Ah,
fancy cheese.
ooh, nice. If you had to pick any character in a book, movie, or TV show, which character is most similar to you?
Probably Lucille Ball.
Fabulous. What's your favorite life hack?
Action. My favorite life hack is action. I don't think about stuff. I just act. When I get an idea, I just go. I just do it. Because if I don't, then I might forget about it. And it was a really great idea. So, and I think that happens to a lot of people, by the way, is they get an idea and then they get all fired up about it and they don't take action. So it gets lost.
Ah, yes, of course. If your mind was an island, what would it look like?
It would be very mountainous, and there would be lots of um, things growing on it, like trees, and it would be very lush.
Hmm, fabulous. Would you consider yourself to be an extrovert or an introvert?
I'm definitely an extrovert.
Oh, yes, I can certainly tell. What's the first thing you will do when you win the lottery?
The first thing I'll do is go on a trip, um, go to some secluded island, and figure out what the heck I'm going to do.
Hmm, fabulous.
Hmm?
And that is all we have for this episode. It was great having you on, Cathy, talking about being a worm advocate and worms, and so on, and speaking out the truth on society and whatnot. It's been great.
Thank you, Peter. I really enjoyed your questions. I've not been involved in a podcast like this before. I quite enjoyed it.
You're welcome.
Thank
And until next time, stay opinionated.
you.